Hey, what's up guys? Rev here. So today we're going to look at two big developing stories, situations that we really haven't seen before. Two different VTuber agencies having mass graduations where they're letting go of several members in one announcement. We're dealing with two different agencies this time. We're going to start with some information on Production Kawaii as well as Nijisanji. Now we're going to start with Production Kawaii because this was from a few days ago and it's a good lead-in to the Nijisanji stuff. So the other day, their management announced that their entire third generation will be graduating. Not just one member, not two members, the whole generation, which needless to say is a pretty big deal. That is an unprecedented thing. I have never seen an entire generation graduate like this. And from reading through this letter, you can pause and read for yourself and go find the actual document, but there's not a lot of information in here. Basically, it's saying that due to some differences in the direction the company was going in the future, that they can no longer work with this third generation, and all of them have opted into graduating instead of moving forward with the company. So, like I said, not a lot of details. All we know is that they are done and that their channels will be shutting down, and effectively everything will be shut down by the end of April. And there's just been a lot of questions because how does a whole generation graduate? When we've seen some mass graduations or mass exodus from VTuber agencies, normally there's some huge drama going on behind the scenes, but we don't really know anything at this point. And of course, people are left to their speculation, but it's just that, speculation. There is no indication that there was any crazy drama going on between the management and this generation. In fact, it seems like most of the company, including the other generations, are very hurt and confused by this situation and less disappointed in their agency and management and more disappointed in the actual third generation members who have now graduated. So a couple different members from this agency have come forward to make a few statements, and this individual here, Raina, says, like I said, I will speak more on our experience once I'm back, but the seven of us aren't going anywhere. We believe in Kawaii. We were blindsided and hurt by Gen 3's decision. We all tried so hard to accommodate and understand, but they made up their own minds. Thank you. So based on this statement from another member of this agency, it sounds like they were completely blindsided by this decision, and it was just a mass exodus by this third generation with little warning. And it doesn't seem like there's anything other than they just wanted to move on, which is strange. Like, on the one hand, you understand if people just have creative differences or don't want to be a part of an agency, but it's a lot more complicated than just like quitting, right? There's a lot more intangibles and connections and responsibilities, and for a whole generation to just pack up and leave, that's crazy. Now, we had another member come forward and make a few statements, and this one I think provides a little bit more insight from Namiji. It begins with saying, please stop joining our company just to decide to leave in a few months. Asking this the first time didn't seem to get heard. I'm very sorry to the fans left behind. Now, this is kind of the sentiment I have, right? The fans, what a terrible experience for them. I understand the frustration. If you go through the replies to this set of tweets, there's a lot of people frustrated with this VTuber saying that this was an unprofessional statement to make, and basically they're throwing this third generation under the bus. But I get the frustration, and I get making this statement because from everything I've seen, unless something new pops up, it just seems like this group of VTubers didn't respect the agency and just kind of left when they felt it was convenient for themselves and left the company high and dry as well as their fans. I mean, it's hard enough being a part of this agency. Clearly, this is a bad look for your company, and it puts you in a very awkward spot. Like, imagine, they're no small fry. This is an established agency, Production Kawaii, but imagine if How Alive, for example, let's say their whole first English generation just graduated. Everyone just decided, yeah, we're done. The whole thing left. People would be devastated, and people are devastated by this. They have fans. I mean, they are let down by this. Imagine if you were a fan of this generation, everyone just up and left. And it doesn't sound like there's any real reason other than they just aren't committed to it anymore. And I really don't understand the mentality. We've seen some other issues with Nijisanji streamers like Zion, for example, earlier this year, who also graduated, where people are joining these agencies without their like full heart into it, or they don't want to respect the rules or the guidelines, and they just kind of want to do their own thing under the name, right, for whatever benefit comes with it. But man, it just doesn't work, and it ends up badly like this, and you end up in a situation where now a whole lot of people are let down in terms of fans, and now the agency's put in a really tough spot. So I understand making these statements. It is unprecedented. A whole generation graduating like that. It's going to be tough to bounce back from all that. But I use that as an introduction because, you know, Nijisanji and Any Color saw an entire generation graduate, and they said, hold my beer, as we're going to do something even crazier. So earlier this morning, late last night, Nijisanji Indonesia announced that 4 of their Indonesian talents will be graduating. Now, here's a pretty rough translation of that message, but basically it's very similar, where there is no detail. That is very Nijisanji and Any Color on style. You know, there's no details as to what's going on and why they're graduating. It's unclear if this is just creative differences, moving on, or something else. We just don't know at this point. And the only real difference between them and Production Kawaii is that they are actually getting a proper graduation, where 2 of the members will be graduating in May and the final 2 in June and July, respectively. So it is definitely a pretty big deal. A lot of people are blindsided by this. Once again, this seems like it is a very sudden decision, and it continues a very, very rough year for Nijisanji. And you have people like Micah Maltaiko who's saying, you know, they're clearly very surprised. Another Indonesian talent from Nijisanji saying, knocking on socials today, sorry, and before that saying, you can never be truly prepared for stuff like this. Clearly, a lot of people were surprised and caught off guard by this. And again, with no reason provided as to why this is happening, people's imaginations are kind of running amok. And of course, speculation, and I don't want to get drone striked by Nijisanji for expressing any sort of a controversial opinion, but the only thing that I think actually has some merit is that this had to do with some sort of a lack of support for these talents, and it all can be traced back to the not so distant past, where not too long ago, the Nijisanji Indonesian branch was broken off and merged into the main Nijisanji Japanese branch among some other branches, and now operating under that overhead, right? And for a lot of people, they felt like from that moment on, the Indonesian talents have not gotten the same level of support through their management and the same level of attention and resources. And also, for me, this is my personal opinion. Please, Any Color, don't bash me over the head. I believe that separating a Indonesian base and putting it into a larger branch hurts them. I feel like if you are Indonesian-speaking VTubers, it is best to focus on your own branch and take advantage of the opportunities and fan bases that would naturally be inclined to enjoy those sorts of talents. But when you mix it in with other branches and other language-speaking branches and things like that, the focus is off of them, and their priorities become merged with other groups that maybe just aren't the same as what these Indonesian talents need. And I think that is probably one of the reasons why things have changed. The mood has changed in how this group of VTubers have functioned. And unlike the others, like I said, we saw Micah, obviously surprised, but there's been a lot of support and nice words from the people who are graduating. It doesn't seem like this is on the worst of terms. It doesn't seem like they're angry or blindsided themselves, the actual people graduating. But still, like, you have to ask, just like, what is going on here? And Nijisanji just cleaning house this year, whether it's by their own hand or talents wanting to move separate ways. It's been a very rough time, and honestly, with all of the false copyright strike drama going on earlier this year, I don't have much sympathy for Nijisanji's management or any color, but I do feel bad for the talents, especially those involved who are graduating. I wish them the best, but I also feel bad for a lot of their fellow Nijisanji members who are friends with them, and honestly, it just makes a very murky situation, and there's really nothing else to say about this. Crazy week in the VTubing scene. I have never seen mass graduations like this, and I even have another set of drama involving another small VTuber agency. I might save that for another video, but another case of mass graduations and people leaving a VTuber agency in a big group, but I'll save that for another day. But these two agencies have been the big talk of the town the last couple days, and for good reason. And honestly, with the way things are shaping up, I don't expect these graduations to stop. 2023 has been filled with more graduations than really I can think of the entire 2022 year, and it's concerning. But that's going to do it for this video. Please share all of your thoughts about this video in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.